Hello, I'm a poet in East Anglia. My name's Owen, and I've got some messages and some poems for you, and I want to read them out. And bear with me because it's going to be a long piece of film probably eventually, because I've got 2 or 3 poems to read for you, but just stick with it and see what you think. And I value your comments, and if you want to email me or something, then do so and send me your poems, and then we'll get a big world of poetry going on. This is called Remembrance. I wrote this for the British government, especially Gordon Brown at the time. I wrote it in 2008 as yet another coffin trundled through the streets of Wootton Bassett or up the street of Colchester, which is my local town. I saw you on the cenotaph with your poppy clear on show. I saw the solemn look you gave and thought, I have to know. You want to show your caring, remembering the dead, and yet there's thoughts of conflicts still raging in your head. Lest we forget, the legend states, and now you bow your head, and yet your intervention leaves so many soldiers dead. And in the streets of Colchester, regular we see their heroes marching bravely home who fight to keep us free. Supposing we scrap the poppies and thought of this instead, a reason why we shouldn't fight and deal with all the dead. Supposing, just for once, you say, as leader of us all, no longer will I send these boys, no longer will they fall. Your pious act won't fool me as you stand and say your prayers. Why not take a different stance and show the leader cares? Give life a proper value, really try and see the death of all our soldiers will not bring us liberty. Instead, it shows a pattern, a way that just won't turn, that you will kill our soldiers and that we will never learn. And anywhere there's trouble, so long as we can win, it takes one call from the White House and our saints go marching in. So next time on the cenotaph, let those who really care stand and think of loved ones who no longer can be there. But stay at home, reflective, and think on what you do. They're there to think of all the souls they lost because of you. This is a poem written for the Colchester rape crisis people, and it was written about the dangers of Rohypnol, the captive audience that I was lucky to be able to be writing. The 4 was 6th formers, year 10s, 11s and 12 sort of thing, and it's called Just a Laugh. She looked like a princess in her very best dress, like a picture, a treasure, you'd have to confess. A beautiful jewel, a dazzler, a queen. How could the thing end so harsh and obscene? The music was buzzing and so was the night, enjoying her dancing and getting it right. She felt alive, she felt young, she felt happy and free. She was all of those things, you would have to agree. The pub where they met, where they laughed and they talked. Because they were drinking, they thought it was right that they walked. And they queued at the club and the line was so long, but the evening was fun and nothing was wrong. The night was quite cold, but nobody cared. As they stood with no coats on the shoulders they bared, but with looking for friends and having such fun, it seemed like Ibiza without the bright sun. But how could it matter? They were young, they were free, they were out having fun, you would have to agree. How could she know of the danger that waits from the low life inside that everyone hates? It was into the club and onto the floor and some to the bar so they could drink more. The lights and the sound, and they all set the scene for our Friday night Romeo, silent and mean. He was up on the floor, he was dancing away with a style so seductive. The people all say, he's a bit all right, that guy over there. Shift up just a bit, let's find him a chair. He was charming and funny, seemed caring and sweet, and his clothes were so trendy, and his hair was so neat. And the girls, they were laughing, and I bet that you'd be, they were out having fun. You'd have to agree. Their eyes seemed to meet and lock straight away. You know, like one of them moments where you can't pull away. Our princess, our queen, who was out just for fun, met the man of her dreams when her troubles begun. He smiled and his teeth were perfect and white, and she smiled right back and she thought it felt right, for she was so young and so happy, so free. She was out having fun. You'd have to agree. So how did it end in a field by the stream? Was all this now real or was it a dream? How did our princess who lay on her back wake up sore and hurt near a railway track? How did the vile pain that now she was feeling sneak up behind her without leaving her reeling? Where was the club and where were her friends, and who had decided that here's how it ends? She cast her mind back to the guy she had met, a face like Tom Cruise she would never forget. How had he gone to the bar and bought her a drink? Down the hatch he had said as he tipped her a wink. But why from that drink did her memory fail? Where was she right now, all tattered and pale? Why was she broken beneath an old tree? She'd been young, having fun, you would have to agree. So, confused now and broken, she found her way back from the field and the tree and the rusty old track. Our princess, our jewel, our poor broken queen, just fell to her knees and she let out a scream. Where was he, this man, the one she had met, the man she had danced with and couldn't forget? And the police and the paper, they thought it a shame that she never once thought just to ask him his name. This story is made up, it couldn't be true. It never could happen to me or to you. No one would catch us, we're just too unaware. No one would try it, yeah, no one would dare. Is that really the truth? Is that really the case? Is it really not true? If you say people don't, well, I'll tell you, they do. You think you are young, having fun, being free, but you have to take care, you've got to agree. My next poem, we just keep going, we'll squeeze them in and then I'll leave you alone, I promise you. But if you've enjoyed it, leave a comment on the bottom and I'll try and put some more on for you. This is a poem of hope. I'm not really that dark and depressing. This poem is about hope. And I wrote this for my girlfriend, one of my girlfriends in London, who doesn't believe that she's particularly talented. She doesn't believe she's particularly beautiful. She doesn't believe she's particularly interesting. And she's the most beautiful, interesting, talented person I know. And I wrote her this for her birthday. The garden, like a Christmas card, was white with frost and rime. The trees, they bowed and hoped for warmth and wished for summertime. The grass was white and spiky and the cobweb shone like gold, to welcome in the master now, to welcome in the cold. And all at once I heard a song about this winter scene. It was a song of joy and beauty, so loud, so full and keen. I looked upon the wilderness to see what I might spy, but nothing stirred, the garden stood, just cold and calm and dry. But there upon the handle of a deeply buried spade that had been left there by the gardener where the beach road he had laid, I saw a tiny robin, and then I heard him sing. With the harshness of its audience, he made the garden ring. I stood in awe and listened to every soulful sound. I heard his whistle climb on high, I heard it sweep on down, but still I felt a sadness. He wasn't at his ease. He told me soulful from his heart that he found it hard to please. This beautiful fair creature that had sang and warmed my heart had no belief in him or the beauty of his art. So I told him that I loved him deep and he would have to see. His beauty touches everyone. It's not just seen by me. The sun shone in the garden as winter bowed away. The yawning trees awoke and stretched as summer had its way. The bird song still was beautiful. I loved to hear it call. But now I hear my robin sing, the loudest of them all.
Don't look so serious, you cunt.